Hi friends, I welcome you all once again to my YouTube channel for learning English. So dear friends, already we have started to learn the first story of class 8 CBSE English supplementary book, that is It So Happened. And the story name is How the Camel Got His Hump. So this story is sectioned in two parts, and first part of it we discussed in the last learning session. Today we are going to learn the second part of it, but before that let us have a glance over the first part. So in the first part of the story we saw that it was the story when the world had just begun and the animals were started to working for human beings. The animals were working for human beings. Second thing is that uh, there was a desert. In that howling desert there was a lazy animal that did nothing in the desert, and whenever asked by any animal for work, like the dog, the ox, and the horse, it would always say nothing but hump. So looking at such ugly attitude of that animal, all of them, I mean the animals, uh, the dog, the ox, and the horse, complained to the man and even held a panchayata to sort out the problem. So and then there comes a jinn who was the in charge of all deserts and assured them that he will deal with him appropriately and make him to work into the desert. So this thing we have learned in the first part. So now let us learn the second part of the story of the lesson, how the camel got his hump, and let us discuss whether it is possible for genie to make the camel to work in the desert or not. Let us see. So during the panchayata, the jinn had given the word to all those three animals that he will definitely make the camel to work into the field. So let us now read it out and understand what is there in the story. The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. Okay, so immediately the jinn rolled out from the dust in his dust cloak. Here, what is the meaning of dust cloak? Dust cloak is a kind of cloth, dress material, which is sleeveless, outdoor overgarment that hangs loosely from the shoulder. Okay, that hangs loosely from the shoulder means and he came into the desert and he started to find out the camel, and he found it at the end where the camel was looking at its reflection into the pool. So camel always used to say hump because it was always proud of its hump. So now it is looking at its reflection. What is happened then, let us see. My friend, said the jinn, what's this? I hear of you are doing no work. So jinn went there and he asked him that why you are not working into the desert. It has been observed by many of the animals that you are not working, and even a complaint came from all of them. The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. So still jinn has asked the question to the camel, but the camel was not looking at him, whereas it was just looking into the reflection of uh, water. Okay, so let us see what is happened next. You have given the three extra work ever since Monday morning, and all on account of your idleness. said the jinn, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. Okay, so he told the camel that since Monday, three works have been given to you, and it could not be done by you because of your idleness. Idleness means, what does idleness means? What idleness means? Just sitting and doing nothing. Since you were sitting and doing nothing, all those works are pending, he said. Let us see what is happened next. And the jinn was holding his chin. Chin is the lowermost part of our face. You can see over in the picture, the jinn has hold his has held his chin in his hand and thinking further. Let us see what is happened next, whether the camel will give the reply. Hump, said the camel, as usual. However, the answer is ordinary for all the animals. The same answer was given by the camel to the jinn, that was hump. I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the jinn. You might say it once too often. I want you to work. Then the jinn said that anybody's same answer you are giving. If I would have been in your place, I should not give such kind of answer to all the people, whereas I should work out with them. So he said that you should start working right now. Again, see what is happened. And the camel said hump again. The same thing, second time too. The camel gave the answer with hump. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back that he was so proud of, puffing up and puffing up into a great big lump. So here, while the camel observed the hump on his back into the reflection of the water, so that day on, I think he could not say such answer hump, because earlier he was proud of his hump, so he was always giving such answers. But he came to know, the camel came to know that by the pool, his hump is growing bigger and bigger, and now he is not liking its hump. Do you see that? Said the jinn. That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. The jinn said that whatever you are seeing into the reflection of the pool, that is nothing but your hump, and only since you are not working by last 3 days, it has grown up too big. Today is Thursday, and you have done no work since Monday. When the work began, now you are going to work. So, right from Monday, where you had been given some of the work, you did not work, and today is Thursday, and still you have not done anything for that purpose. Right now, you will have to start working, he said. How can I, said the camel, with this hump on my back? Then, so earlier, the camel was proud of its hump, so it was not working. It was feeling itself that it is something different from others, and now it is looking at its hump as a burden and again refusing to work over there. That has a purpose, said the jinn. All because you missed those 3 days, you will be able to work now for 3 days without eating. So the purpose to grow that hump is to store food here. Okay, so that has a purpose, he said. That has a purpose means what? Whatever hump you have grown up on your back, that has a purpose to grow up, because it stores food, and with the help of it you can work without eating food for 3 more days. Because you can live on your hump, and don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. Then he said that he convinced him that whatever hump you have, that will be helpful for you to work out for 3 days without eating food. You just go now away from this place to those all 3 animals, ox, horse and the dog, and start working like them. and the camel went away to join the tree. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feelings, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned to behave. So the camel agreed with the jinn and went to the three animals and started to work along with that hump. Okay, but he has never caught up with those 3 days which he missed earlier. So this is what the story given by Rudyard Kipling. This is the abridged story. Abridged means shortened story of how the camel got his hump by Rudyard Kipling. This could be an imaginary story. And what could be the moral of the lesson? Learning both the parts of this story, what we have learned and what conclusion we have in our hand. What could be the moral of the story? Let us see. The moral of the story is nothing is achieved by sitting idle and wasting time. If you are sitting idle and wasting your time, you cannot achieve anything. Whereas when you invest your time, it is really possible for you to achieve anything. So one who is lazy does not fulfill his responsibility and suffers in the end. Okay, so one who is lazy like a camel will definitely suffers like the camel in the end, because whatever work he missed in the beginning, that could be completed by itself, and that will be little burden for it. So this is what the moral of the story, that nothing is achieved by sitting idle and wasting time. I hope you have understood. Thank you and have a nice day.